Right, so we're back with another Q&A episode 4. So I've got the questions written here. I'm going to read these questions out and I'm going to be answering them for you. If you have any other questions that you want me to answer, put it down in the comments and I will make a video on that. So let's get straight to the first question. I was wondering if you can give tips on moving into accommodation. How do you deal with the feeling of homesickness and some key items to bring? Okay, so a lot of you are going to go into accommodation, right? You're going to go into university and go into accommodation, and you are going to feel this feeling of homesickness. Now, I'm just going to take you a bit back so that you understand the perspective and understand that this is a very natural feeling that you're having. You've got to understand this. You've been living in your family home, your parents' home, for the past 18 years, and now you're about to leave that home, that nest. So for you to feel homesickness is very natural because you've been in that cocoon place, if you like, for 18 years. 18 years is a very long time, right? And now you're about to embark on this journey where you're going to be living by yourself. So first understand that so that it just gives you perspective, so you don't feel like, you're a failure or whatever, those negative thoughts. So I'm just trying to remove those negative thoughts. So you understand the situation. Okay, this is why I'm getting homesickness, because of the situation. Okay, cool. So how do you deal with homesickness? There's a couple of easy things that you can do, okay? Very, very easy things, very practical things that you can do to kind of reduce that anxiety, the feeling of all those things that you're feeling right now. The first thing is, obviously, when you're moving into university, what I would say is, at least for the first couple of months, maybe or even 1 month, 2 months, you'll be able to know. Speak to your family on the phone, okay? If it means every day, every other day, speak to them. Because at least you know that you're not there by yourself. And you know that when you're speaking to them on the phone, they're there on the other end, speaking to you, having a conversation, listening to you. So you at least feel that connection. You feel that presence there, as opposed to not speaking to them at all. That's number one. The second step I would say, and you want to do this for at least the first 1 or 2 months until you feel better, is on the weekends, go back to your family home. Because you see, Monday to Friday, you're going to be at university. There's no point of you going back home unless your home is extremely close. There's no point, it's just not going to work. But if you have it on the weekend where you know in the back of your mind, okay, it's Thursday, but I know I'm going to go back home on Saturday, Sunday, that homesickness will reduce because you know you're going to meet your family again. You know you're going to see them again. You know you're going to be in their presence for the weekend. And that is a big, big help. Don't be like, for the first 2-3 weeks or even a month, just be at university, because you will feel homesickness without seeing your family. So if you go there on a weekend where you just, plan it out, on the weekends I'm going to go, it will reduce by a lot, because okay, when I leave on Sunday, I've been with my family for the last 2 days. I feel good, I feel great, and I'm going to start Monday again at university. And then again, the next weekend, you're going to go back. So these are some practical things that you can do, right? And if you do this, and you do it like consistently, you'll feel that homesickness feeling will reduce. And then you might see for yourself that after 2 months, you don't need to go every weekend, maybe every other weekend. You don't need to call them every day, maybe every other day. And that shows to you you're growing, you're maturing, and you're feeling better, and you're feeling that you don't need to be talking to them every single day because your homesickness is reducing. So I would say do those things as a practical way to reduce that. Well, some key items to bring, it goes without saying, if you have laptop, if you have, your phone, if you have anything that you're going to use on a day-to-day basis, or that you're using on a day-to-day basis, your clothes, towels, toiletries, all these things, because obviously you need to buy those if you haven't got already, right? So just the basic necessities that you're using on a day-to-day basis, you just bring that. All the other things, don't worry, because you'll start to realize, oh, I need this, and you start making a list. So I wouldn't get bogged down on all the things that I need to bring. Just bring the basic things that you need. And the things that you don't have, just make a note when you're at university so you know that, okay, this is what I need to get. Very, very simple. The second question is how to make new friends plus integrate yourself in a university setting. Okay, so when you're going to your university and you're doing your degree, you're going to be meeting new students that are also in your degree, in your batch, right? So when you ask how to make new friends, it's very simple. You just go up to them and talk and say, hey, listen, my name is Vidush. I'm also doing this degree with you. What's your name? I would like to get to know you. And you start speaking, right? Obviously, it might not come natural at the beginning, but there's going to be exercises, group exercises, for example, or even just lab work or any other kind of activities within your degree course that will allow you to talk with the other people. And essentially, don't think of making new friends as a way of like something daunting. Just talk, just be like normal, man. Making new friends is actually a lot easier than you think it is if you just go up and just talk, like be proactive about it. And I think you said something else. Integrate yourself in a university setting. Okay, so if you want to integrate yourself in a university setting, you have to be in those university settings. So for example, if you want to know how the library works, you have to go in the library and see it for yourself. If you want to know how the university bar works, or the sports works, or the gym works, or the canteen works, you have to go in these different settings for you to get accustomed to it. It's as simple as that, right? You can't just be like thinking from the step back, like, oh, I need to know all this stuff. Just go. Just go and experience it yourself. If you want, you can go by yourself. If you want, you can go with some friends. It doesn't matter. But the thing what you want to do is, by you going to these different places, you're going to get accustomed to these different university settings. So okay, to get a coffee, I can go here. To get lunch, I could go here. To study, I'm going to go to the library. And you know it now because you've been in all these different settings, left and right, consistently. So it's very simple. For you to get accustomed to these settings, go in those settings. Practically go there and see for yourself. And that's it. The third question is, hi, I was wondering how you navigate relationships and talking to people at uni just in general. How do I know someone isn't trying to waste my time? Okay, well, look, the thing is, right, you don't know if someone is going to waste your time or not at the first instance. It's very difficult because you don't know that person. You need to get to know that person. Now, when you want to navigate relationships and just talk with people in general, you want to understand, okay, for example, if you're doing a certain degree, you're going to have people in your class that are also doing the same degree. Now, when you're talking with them, there's nothing wrong with that because you're probably talking about the course, you're talking about the degree, and you're probably talking about other things in life, which is okay. Now, it gets to a stage where you need to ask yourself, okay, how many people do you want to talk with, and is it taking too much of my time? Because you see, if you start talking with so many people, you're going to be wasting time. Where are these conversations needed? Do you need to talk to all these people? Remember, this is what's going to happen, right? First year of uni, you're going to talk with a lot of people. You're going to get to know everyone and trying to get to know everyone because you're all new. Cool. Second year, that list of friends that you had starts reducing. Third year of university, or your final year of university, you're only going to have 2-3 friends that you're going to speak to. That's normally how it goes, right? And probably it's happening in high school as well with you. So you have to understand that when you're talking, don't try and talk with trying to get something in return, if that makes sense. I don't expect something from talking to people. Just talk with people and just see how it goes, right? And then as you start talking with them and getting to know them, you will start to see if they're wasting your time or not. For example, hey, let's meet up. Hey, sorry, I can't do it today because I'm busy. Okay, cool, no worries. Hey, let's meet up. You ask again. Hey, let's meet up the second time, for example, for another thing. Hey, sorry, I can't do it because I've got this. Okay, cool. Hey, maybe the third time you ask again. Hey, let's meet up. Nah, sorry, I can't do it. Then you know those people are not going to be in your circle, so you cut them off because obviously you tried 3 times at least to meet up and have a conversation and do something, and they didn't want to come, or they weren't interested. So you know, okay, that there's no point of having those kind of friends. So it's all about trial and error, right? Don't try and be so, I've got to make the right friends. It doesn't work that way. You try, and if it doesn't work, you move on. So I would say don't look at everything black and white, 0 and 1, because friendships and relationships don't work that way. It takes time and effort. But what I would say, and you're going to see this and you're going to know, that when you do those things, for example, you give your time, you give your effort, you give your commitment, and then you start to see that that's not being reciprocated the other way, then you are going to know, okay, these people are wasting my time, and you'll cut them off. So that's what I would say. Just enjoy the process, talk with people, and just enjoy talking with people. Just enjoy socializing. You don't have to socialize with every single one. Just 2-3 people is more than enough. The fourth question, how do you deal with a breakup with the girl of your dreams and that you will never meet someone like her? Okay, well, look, I'll just be honest with you. Going through a breakup is not easy. It's very difficult because there's a lot of emotions involved. There's a lot of hurt involved. And I will say this. Going through a breakup is the best thing that could ever happen to you. And I'll tell you why. I can see even just from the way you said, and that you would never meet someone like her. And I'll say that was interesting because I've gone through this myself and I felt the exact same way that you said this, right? You feel that the connection that you had with her, the bond, the text messages, the way you're able to read each other's minds, even through text messages, you feel that you're not going to get that with someone else, right? You think that this person is the one for you. But you're wrong. There's so many other people that you can meet and that you are going to meet that could even be better. Now, with breakups, right, and this is what I did. At the beginning, when you're going through a breakup, you feel a lot of emotions, a lot of anger, frustration, sadness, negative emotions. You feel like the end of the world, right? Because someone's just broke your heart. But your heart being broken is the best thing that can happen because you can use that as a motivation to become better for yourself. This is what I did. It got to a stage with me, right, when I was also going through those emotions, and I then had to stop and ask myself, what the heck am I doing? Why am I still moaning and kind of playing the victim mode of a breakup that's happened such a long time ago? What am I doing? I need to get my life in order. And being able to get your life in order, which means it can basically mean go to the gym, go work out, let that depression, that negative feelings out of your body through the workouts, cardio, eating right, going and fulfilling a purpose, a task, something that you're passionate about, that you want to do, your job, whatever it is, a business. You're now going tunnel vision. And because the breakup has given you an ample of fire, motivation, that, you know what, I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to show that I can even be better than who I was before. And that's what I did, right? The breakup with me was nothing to do with me. It was more towards her, but I still was angry. I was like, there was a fire in me. I was like, oh, really? You did this? Okay, cool. It's the biggest mistake that you could have ever done. Not in a physical way, but in a mental way, where I'm like, okay, watch, I'm going to improve myself now. I'm going to look at these tasks. I'm going to look at what I want to do, and I'm going to go tunnel vision, and I'm going to go 110% in. And then I'm going to become better, to the point where once I did get to those stages, the girl who broke up came back and messaged, because she was able to see what I was doing. But then by that time, I was far ahead. So you want to get to that stage, right? Right now, you're probably going through these emotions, these raw emotions, and it hurts, but you've got to pick yourself up. And during these times, you've got to do something. Move your body, go to the gym, socialize, talk with your friends, let it out, vent it out, right? But you cannot be moaning. I wouldn't say moaning, but you cannot be in this mind state of, oh, she's left me, I'm never going to find anyone else. Of course you're going to find someone else, man. There's like 7-8 billion people in the world. Actually, half of that, because probably half is male, right? But you understand what I'm saying. Your life cannot be dependent on one person. That is what I've learned, is that I cannot be dependent on other people. I have to be dependent on myself. And the moment you start doing that, the moment you can know that you are dependent on yourself, you're not going to feel any of these feelings. Even if it's a real breakup, eventually, like, okay, it's happened, cool. I'm still moving on, I'm still moving forward. I have ambition, I have a purpose. I need to go and do those purpose. I need to go and do that. I need to go and fulfill what my purpose is. If you want to be part of that journey, you can be part of that journey. If you don't, the door is there, you can leave. Thank you very much, bye. I understand it's difficult, I understand it's not easy because you're dealing with emotions. Emotions are hard, but you have to ask yourself, what are you doing to deal with those? As opposed to just sitting down and thinking about her all day. Thinking about her all day is not going to get you anywhere. She's probably moved on, man. She's probably moved on and is probably with someone else. Because girls are better at moving on than guys. Especially if a guy is truly, truly in love with a girl, the girl will move on because she could be very cold. So you've got to, what are you doing? You've got to say to yourself, okay, I need to start moving. I need to start doing things. I need to start looking at my life and see what I want to become and start going through full throttle. And as you start doing that, I'm not saying you go straight into it. You start building up, right? You start doing small tasks, build the momentum. But let that fire, let that breakup fire you, man. Let that breakup motivate you. Let that breakup make you angry, and use that anger for something good. That's what I did. Like anything bad that's happened in my life, I use it as a fuel, as motivation for me to even go to the next level. I was like, you don't think I'm good? Oh, you think, oh, exactly. Okay, you want to break? Okay, cool. Because I didn't do anything wrong, so I know I don't have any regret. But I still want to show. I was like, okay, fine. Watch, you're gonna regret this. And it's like an obsession, right? But it's fine, because once you do that, you eventually start to see, okay, what real life is about. And you start to see what your capabilities are, and then you get to see, oh, hold up, you know what? I'm actually really good at what I'm doing. I actually don't need you. I don't need you. I could do this shit by myself, and I'm doing it. I'm tackling the world. I'm great. I'm doing really well. I don't need you. And you realize that, right? Through that anger and that motivation and that dedication of you wanting to prove. Then you start realizing, as you're starting to do well and becoming better, you don't need her. Right? So how to deal with breakup? Start doing. Start looking at your life and say, okay, I need to get my life in order. I'll go to the gym. I'll eat right. And I'll start looking at what I need to do. What is my purpose? Start doing that, because when you start to build, it's just 3 things, very simple, right? When you start to do that, you don't care about what's happening on the outside. You don't even look at your past. You're looking at your present moment and thinking about, okay, these are my future goals, and this is what I'm going to be targeting and focusing on. That's it. The fifth question, what is the whole process of booking a holiday from start to finish? This is a good question because I just booked a holiday for myself for the first time in like 6-7 years, man. Bloody hell, 6-7 years. That's crazy. But essentially, when you're booking a holiday, right, I'll just explain it to you in this way so you understand. It goes without saying, you want to know where your destination, where do you want to go and for how long. So you need to first figure that out. So let's say, for example, I don't know, Malta. I'm not going to Malta, but let's say you're going to Malta, right? So you're going to go Malta. This is where you want to go, but also for how long? So let's say, I don't know, 4 days. Okay, I'm going to go Malta for 4 days. Cool. Next thing is you need to figure out what days you want to go. So what dates? Figure that out. Okay, you got the dates now. Fine. Next thing you want to do is you need to find the flights. So if you're going from the UK, which I assume you're from the UK, you want to check the flights that go from that date to that date. For example, the 4 days, right? You want to make sure that you find a flight that goes from the UK to Malta, or the airport in Malta, for those days that you say you want to go. So don't book the hotel first, okay? Do not book the hotel Airbnb first, because the thing is, you want to make sure that you book the flight first, because if you don't have a flight, you can't get to that place. The hotel, even if you don't have the hotel, there's probably so many other hotels that you can book. So the flight is important first. You want to book the flight first. Once you've done that, you book the hotel Airbnb. But before you book anything, you want to make sure, okay, you know the flight, there's flight going from this date to this date. Cool. Next thing is you want to look at the hotels or Airbnb around that area that you're going, and you want to make sure that they have availability for those days. Once you figure out those availabilities, you know, okay, I can book that. So once you have that, okay, you book your flight, done. You book your hotel, done. That's done. Cool. Next thing is, once you booked all those things, you have to know that, okay, once you get to the airport of Malta, how are you going to get from the airport to your hotel? Right? What are you going to do? So you need to figure that out. Most of the time, the best way or the best thing to do is book a taxi or an Uber. Don't go walking with a suitcase or this. That's what I wanted to do until my friend told me not to do that, because you're going to a different country with a suitcase, you're a tourist. People will take advantage, right? So it's best that you actually take an Uber or a taxi to your destination. And then really from there, those are the big things first that you want to book, which is fine, right? And once you got that, then you need to figure out, okay, what things you want to bring. That's it, what things you want to bring. But also make sure that you understand, okay, the cabin luggage, right? So certain airlines have a certain limit of how much luggage weight you can bring. So for example, if you're with EasyJet or something, I think the limit for that was 32 kg. If you want to bring it into the cabin, I think the max was 15 kg, right? So you can look that up in the different airlines or the airlines that you're going to go to and see what their requirements are. But essentially, once you've got those things sorted out, then you just kind of look, buy the clothes, the things that you need that you were going to use when you go on the holiday. That's all it is. So I hope you've taken something from this video. And if you have, give this video a big thumbs up, would really appreciate it. And remember, if you have any questions that you want answered, just put it down in the comments and I will answer them for you. Remember, everything starts from zero. When are you going to start? Peace.